Hey, welcome in. Eric Bach here for the Look Great Naked podcast. And today, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks since we've done an episode. We've had a lot of things going on. We're going to break that down, give you an update after 1 year on TRT, and get you dialed in for summer. So first, over the last 5-6 weeks, we've actually had a kitchen renovation going on at our house. My office is in my home. My kitchen is 12 feet away from my office. So I am somebody who gets up early. I can stay dialed in. I can stay focused. But man, going through a full kitchen renovation, we got things getting smashed. We've got a jackhammer in the kitchen one morning. That was absolutely fantastic. It did not create the most conducive environment to really dial in with a lot of podcasts. So we made a shift in a way that we were focusing on things over the last month, building some internal improvements into our coaching program, but we are dialed back in. Now, one thing I will say was interesting. During the last 5 to 6 weeks, not having a kitchen and also having a picky 5-year-old. Talk about a blast, right? But one thing I used was our ADE nutrition system. This is something we teach inside of our coaching. And I want to explain what that is, and you can take it and run with it because it simplifies nutrition so much and it eliminates many decisions. ADE. A stands for automate, D stands for delegate, E stands for eliminate. Automate. What you want to do is automate as many meals as you can, because the more we have to think about what we eat, the more variability there's going to be, the greater room for error there's also going to be, and the more overall, frankly, headspace is going to take up when it comes to making decisions. And we can all relate that we all make so many decisions throughout the day. If we can make fewer decisions, we can probably make better decisions and we're not quite so exhausted. So I would automate my breakfast. I was using intermittent fasting on my off days. And then on my training days, I was having 1 cup of steel cut oatmeal, half a cup of wild blueberries, 2 Brazil nuts, and a scoop of whey protein powder, right? Very simple, lower carbohydrate, enough of the fat coming directly from the Brazil nuts, getting some selenium, getting some great micronutrients in there, and then the protein intake. Lunch, I was using a meal prep company, so I could pop a quick meal from Icon Meals directly into my air fryer. It took me 0 time. I didn't have to think about it. Post-workout, highly branched cyclic dextrin, and then I would have a scoop of protein powder. Again, same thing on repeat. And so if you think about this, I have automated 75% of my meals throughout the day. I only had to think about 1 meal. That was typically dinner. We stayed home actually a lot more than I thought. I figured we'd probably be at restaurants or ordering out 3 or 4 days a week. But I've got a Traeger. I've got a Blackstone grill. We've got the air fryer. I actually have a wok, some electric frying pans. So we're able to get pretty creative with our meals and only focus on having to do, again, only having to think about 1 meal throughout the day. So by automating many of those decisions, it gave me a lot more headspace to have some creativity, to have, frankly, better discipline and willpower later in the day. And that's what we do for a lot of our clients, eliminate a lot of decisions by automating things. And then you can still have freedom and flexibility to eat those meals for business, eat those meals with your family, whatever it is. Delegate, right? So I delegate my lunch for a meal prep company. I also use things like Instacart and just order the same groceries on repeat so I don't have to spend all my time at the grocery store or go there when I'm hungry or get a bunch of shit that I don't need, right? I'm human too. And then finally, eliminate. Eliminate trouble foods. That's pretty easy when you don't have access to a pantry and a lot of things are out. But biggest advice there is if you have foods that you are reaching for that do not serve you, get them out of the way. Change the environment. Do not rely on willpower. So ADE, I implemented my own coaching style to stay dialed in throughout that time period. That said, damn, I'm grateful to have a fully functioning and much improved kitchen again. Now, moving on, kind of a big, anniversary. My TRT anniversary, how sweet that is. So I've been about a year now since I've been on TRT. I've been very transparent about this entire journey. You can search testosterone or TRT on my podcast, on YouTube, any number of one of these places, and you'll hear about like the thought process I had going into using TRT, the preliminary work I did to see what I could do to improve things naturally. And of course, we have our testosterone optimization guide, which is available via the show notes, via the link below. So I've been on TRT for about a year now. I want to break down some of the things that have shifted, some of the things that I've noticed, and go from there. So first, body composition. As I was already lean, I've had visible abs for over a decade. I'm very fortunate for that. I've worked very hard to get to that point. And now I went through a bulk during the last 6 months. So I've added probably about 7 pounds. So obviously when you're on TRT, when you have testosterone levels that are higher, it's easier for you to build lean muscle. Also my thyroid increased. So I was able to stay leaner and build that size. Of course, that's also driven by being in a calorie surplus and focusing on things like sleep. So I did notice it was easier for me to build lean muscle while staying leaner, while being on TRT. Some of that's directly due to higher testosterone levels, but also increased thyroid function, because I was actually borderline hypo, so low thyroid, before I actually started TRT. So seeing improvements in both of those areas, that's been fantastic. Now, as we're getting into the summer months, leaning out just a little bit. Number two, energy and mood. Definitely more energy, definitely a better mood. But I will say something interesting. During this last batch of blood work, my DHEA, so DHEA is kind of like a precursor hormone to help synthesize all hormones, was still not optimal, right? So before I started, I actually did prescription DHEA and pregnenolone, right? These are hormones that basically help you synthesize all the other hormones in your body. And so typically DHEA levels will decrease as we get older, and that can be a primary driver for things like brain fog. Now, it's not the only thing. There are a lot of other factors, obviously stress, sleep quality, if you have sleep apnea, stuff like that, those can all be kind of a factor. So I've noticed some improvements in terms of energy and in terms of mood for sure. BNO was never really an issue for me, thank goodness. But I noticed that, while I do have more energy and better mood, my DHEA levels actually dropped when I came off that prescription DHEA, even though my testosterone levels increased. And so I still have some of that brain fog. We're trying to navigate a few things in that regard, potentially getting that DHEA back up a little bit more again, so it's more in alignment with my overall hormonal profile. That should be beneficial across the board. But definitely noticing that I have more focus, more energy in the morning. My sleep has actually dramatically improved over the last 6 months as everything has kind of gotten balanced in. And that's been fantastic because, man, the biggest thing for me, and you've heard me talk about this before when it came to TRT, it's not necessarily about my physique, right? Like, listen, do I like being leaner and bigger at the same time? That's pretty cool. But I'm not doing photo shoots anymore like I was in my 20s. That's not a huge deal to me as much. The biggest thing for me is, do I have energy? Do I have focus? Am I more stoic? Am I more resilient to the stress that I have, running a business, being a parent, being a husband, all of these things? Because one of the biggest aspects that people don't often talk about with testosterone, they just think it's about making gains, is it makes you often more stoic, more able to balance your mood, all of that stuff across the board. And that's so important because for me, it helps me show up as a better father, a better husband, and frankly, better at my job. Quick side note, guys, it always drives me nuts when I do a podcast. I'm allergic to dust, pollen, and mold. And I swear, like, my allergies will be fine all day. Then I will get into a podcast. And maybe it's because I'm talking so much that I'm not really breathing through my nose nearly as much, but then I start to get a little bit clogged up. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. As I mentioned, sleep got better. So the first 6 months, I noticed like deeper sleep, easier to fall asleep. But now I've started noticing some big differences as well. Like when I'm tracking my Oura ring and see what that data looks like. My resting heart rate, 46, 47, but my HRV numbers have actually improved quite a bit. So my overall recovery is better. I'm getting into deeper sleep. If we look at things like a readiness score and a sleep score, those are 10 to 15 points higher than they ever were before I hopped on TRT. So we're getting better recovery, which that's going to aid both, yes, in terms of gains in the gym, but also cognitive performance, discipline, mood, and frankly, long-term health and longevity. Moving on to estradiol, which is the biomarker we're looking at for estrogen. So a lot of times when people go to most like general TRT clinics that are out there, the ones that are popping up, seems like every 5 seconds on every corner, they do a very generic protocol. They have you come in, you do 1 injection per week, which is quite a bit of test all at once. Your levels plateau. They throw you on an aromatase inhibitor, so it makes your estrogen doesn't get too high, and you feel kind of better, but it's not optimal, right? So the way that we've done it, and I'm working with Merrick Health directly on this, is we do 3 injections per week. So 200 milligrams is like the prescription. I've been around 120 since we started because, if I can do better with less of a dose, and I don't really care to chase like a super high testosterone level, we're going to do that. So we break it up over 3 doses, typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in just testosterone. So there's no aromatase inhibitor, anything like that. And so one of the issues that people face is they get their testosterone up and then they take an aromatase inhibitor to pull their estrogen down further. Well, it's not about having low estrogen. It's about having estrogen that's in alignment with where your testosterone levels are. It's about balancing hormones, not taking some up and some to the floor. Because if you have low estrogen, you're going to deal with things like joint pain, brain fog, right? You're not going to be very happy either. And so I see that with so many guys where they just get this generic approach to TRT. And then they're like, hey, man, how come I feel like shit? Maybe you should talk to my medical team instead of, the guy who just opened up the TRT clinic because he had some spare money on the side and knew it was a good way to make some cash, right? Not saying that's all of them, but that definitely is some of them. So all of that said, my estradiol, my estrogen numbers have been in a really good spot all the way through. I'm not dealing with any joint pain, any of those symptoms, and that's without an aromatase inhibitor. Again, typically, if I can put fewer things in my body, I'm going to be happier with that overall. Now, one very interesting thing that has popped up, right? Typically, I've always had borderline higher cholesterol levels, even higher APOB. There's very likely some family aspect in there, which is fine. But I've always done also very high HDL, and every other blood biomarker has been pretty good from a cardiovascular health perspective, and VO2 max and resting heart rate, all of that stuff. But actually, as I've been on testosterone and my levels have improved and increased, my lipid profile, so what a lot of people look at from a cardiovascular risk point, has actually improved. So my HDL is pretty high. My triglycerides are low. My LDL, borderline high, but it's always been that way. I've done blood work for over 12 years, which is interesting. And then we've seen improvements in APOB, which typically can be a measure of arterial plaque. That has decreased about 25% over the last year, meaning the biomarkers that we're looking at from a lipid profile perspective have actually improved while being on TRT, which kind of runs contrary to a lot of the outdated advice that you see on there. And so that's been important, right? Like, I'm getting healthier. I am getting healthier by every single measure here while my testosterone levels get higher. Now, that's not the case for everybody else. Of course, I'm a coach. I'm very dialed in. I'm very attuned to the way I train, the way I sleep, the way I recover, what I put in my body. But it also highlights that, you can have higher levels of testosterone and have it still be supportive of overall health. Now, yes, hopefully we continue to be on that same path and things continue to go. But right now, I'm feeling great. Testosterone levels are in a good spot. Want to clear up a little bit of the brain fog stuff that we're dealing with. So we're going to do a sleep apnea test. We're going to look at some DHEA and see what improvements come from there. We also actually pulled off of red rice yeast plus CoQ10, which we were using to pull down some of the APOB numbers, but that functions like a statin. So that can actually play a role in having some more brain fog. A lot of people on statins have brain fog. So that's the other thing I wanted to add in there. So across the board though, TRT for 1 year, feel much better, more dialed in physically, mentally, across the board. We live in an environment, guys, where people say, hey, that's not natural. Well, what in this fucking world is actually natural? Like, we have these things connected to us all the time. We're endocrine disruptors absolutely everywhere. We're filled with microplastics. We have more stress than ever, more connectivity than ever. And so if we operate in an environment that is quote unquote not natural, what is the issue with taking something to support your physiology? I don't get that, right? Such an interesting thing. I think it's just a lot of people that cope about maybe not having the results that they want. The way I see it, look at your numbers, get the data, and make decisions from there. All right, so let's jump in. Let's have a little training update. What's going on in the workout environment? So I'm coming off of that bulk right now where I was training hard, training consistently, really for 4 to 5, even occasionally 6 days a week, depending on what my schedule looked like over the last few months. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take things a little bit of a different route. I spent some time kind of working through a few kind of aches and pains and injuries, stuff like that to just kind of adds up. I had an elbow that was giving me a little bit of trouble. Nothing where I wasn't training consistently. I've got a shoulder, just a lingering injury from like 20 years ago that pops up every now and then. So we pulled off the gas on a few of those things, and we're feeling, quite a bit better. So as pull away from things like a barbell bench press, make sure lifestyle habits like, alcohol intake, sleep, all of those things are in a good spot because those can all drive things like inflammation. So sometimes what people have is they have, joint pain, but it's not because of the way that they're training. It's because their lifestyle is shit. Not saying that was me, but I pay attention to all these little factors. And so the more dialed in I am with my health in those areas, the better things typically go. And so currently I'm doing something I have not done in a while. I'm doing a 3 times a week total body training split. So each workout, we've got a push, a pull, a lower body exercise, and then a little bit of ancillary movement, whether it's some direct arm work, some ab work. That's going great. I'm actually pushing strength in a deadlift, which I have not done in a while. We're pulling around 500 pounds right now. That's going very smooth. I'm kind of kicking the tires on putting a strength goal together over the next year, seeing if by the time I turn 38, so about a year now, if I could get north of 560, that would be a personal PR. But I'm not going to behold myself to that. I'm going to kind of gauge how my training is, but I'm feeling strong. Frankly, I've never had issues in terms of deadlifts and back pain, which is great. And so if we can get there, cool, we will. If we can't, it's still a fun thing to do directionally. I'm still kind of gauging the risk reward of pushing it that high. But with my training 3 days per week, I'm in and out of the gym about an hour, sometimes a little bit more, because when you have total body and you're moving significant weight, you just have longer rest periods. And if you try to get more accessory work, some of those things dialed in, it can drift a little bit higher. But again, I'm doing most of these in the garage gym just to my left instead of head to any of the facilities around here. And that's been great. But beyond that, I'm doing intervals on the air bike once a week. Typically, we're going 10 seconds all out, well over 1,000. I believe RPM is a measurement on that thing. So we are hitting the red line and then finishing up with some zone 2 work on that. I like to go for a ruck at least once a week, about 45 minutes. Those are great. They can be deceptively challenging on your feet, your ankles, your Achilles. So make sure you're wearing good footwear. I'm doing sprint work about once a week as well. So maintaining some of that fast twitch, some of the fast twitch muscle fibers that have athleticism. I want to make sure that that is there. And I'm looking at potentially adding in, one more thing and doing something a little bit different, whether it be yoga. I'm actually kind of kicking the tires on doing some surfing. I live about 5 miles away from the beach. Doing something outside of the gym a little bit different than what I've done before. Previously, I've done things like boxing, which has been a great experience, but frankly, more things that are not focused on me being a blunt force object, so to speak. Things that calm me down, challenge me a little bit differently. So surfing would be great. Again, I live by the ocean. I love the water. It's very calming, but it would also be challenging from an athletic perspective in a way that I haven't done before. So we're going to kind of determine what that looks like throughout the summer. But, the core aspect is 3 hard strength and conditioning sessions. We're getting in there. We're hitting high intensity work twice a week, at least 10,000 steps a day, get a ruck in, making sure that everything is dialed in from a health perspective. It's not just about looking great naked. It's making sure that we are also improving on the cardiovascular side, so on and so forth. Right. And that's really what it comes down to. So, gang, that's really it. That kind of gets us up to date. I'm going to drop a couple new episodes coming up, about one a week coming in right now. But first, the next one I'm going to break down is our 4-2-1 flagship approach to flexible fat loss. I've actually made some adjustments to this. And I'm actually going to be giving a webinar later on this week, May 20th on Wednesday at 5 p.m., where I'm going to break down exactly how you can eat a lot of your favorite foods, get in the best shape of your life, and more importantly, learn how to keep it. Again, I've been testing and tweaking our protocols, as I always do. I mentioned doing some internal improvements, been looking at the way that we do things and just making sure that our clients are getting the best possible results and going from there. So, guys, the show is back. Thank you so much for being here. Please drop us a 5-star review, drop us a comment, let us know what you want to hear next, and I will see you on the next one.